Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Straight Talk on 106.9 The XFM. I'm your host, Bill Paul, here at beautiful Fanshawe College, and we are talking to a hip-hop artist and a promoter. He's coming from Guelph, Ontario. We thank him for coming through the snow for this. And we have with us today Robbie G. And welcome to the show, Robbie G.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, tell us what life is like in Guelph.
Life in Guelph. It's pretty relaxing. It's pretty chill. We got a population like 300, maybe 200,000, something like that. So it's not a big, huge city. Not as big as London.
And it's a university town.
And
like
it's a
London.
university town, yeah. So in the summertime when the kids are gone, it feels like a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not much going on, but then when the kids are back, it's lively and it's exciting. But yeah, it's a nice place to live. It's a good place to raise a family, you know what I mean? And it's not as busy as like Toronto would be. Toronto, it's a little crazy. London, it's kind of comparable to London. I think London's a little bit more hustle and bustle here, and more vehicles on the road and stuff. But it's nice. It's a good vibe, and we got lots of music there, like the arts. And that in the city, everybody really cares about music there. So we've always got jazz festivals going on, graffiti festivals right in the streets and stuff like that. So lots of cool things going on, music related.
Now you said something interesting to me that coming out of the mouth of a hip hop artist, it is a good place to raise a family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to picture a hip hop artist as a family man, like mowing the lawn, doing hip hop, maybe baseball caps on the side, and little Robbie G Jr. Also with a baseball cap on and some bling.
We never know. Maybe I listen to hip hop when I mow the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's hip hop. Surprisingly enough, it is still for the family. A lot of people do think that hip hop are these wild, crazy kind of people that are just all about the party lifestyle and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. When it comes down to it, once you do have children and you are raising a family, hip hop's just a form of a lifestyle, right? And there's definite principles within good quality hip hop music that are good for raising children and for bringing up youth, especially people that are dealing with situations such as gang violence, drug abuse, addiction, stuff like that. Hip hop really speaks to those people that are dealing with those problems, because a lot of the hip hop artists are people that have gone through the same situations, and they can relate to these children that are going through those situations now. So I feel like hip hop is really educational for the youth and also good for raising a family. So if you're a parent out there, you know what I mean, don't be so afraid when your kid comes home and they're just like, oh yeah, I got this new hip hop CD. You know what I mean? A lot of parents are kind of afraid of that at first. They're just like, whoa, I don't know if I want my kids listening to this. But if they really take time to listen to some of the really solid positive messages that are out there that some of these hip hop artists are portraying, then there's definitely some good there for their children.
I'm wondering how regional hip hop is. Like, you can tell the difference between a East Coast hip hop artist, a West Coast, a Canadian hip hop artist versus an American hip hop artist, a Guelph hip hop artist vis-a-vis a London hip hop artist.
It's a little bit changed now. I think 20 years ago, when hip hop was just kind of coming onto the scene, there's definitely regions that had a certain kind of sound. New York always had this certain kind of hip hop sound. Southern hip hop, it's more drums and more club music, popping bottles type stuff, whereas New York and East Coast hip hop is more intellectual and more about the lyrical, trying to rhyme with skill and stuff like that, right? But nowadays, it's almost like the lines have been blurred a little bit, and I feel like no matter where you are, you can make music that's just you. You don't have to conform to just the music that's in your area. And I think it's good in that sense. It allows artists to kind of step outside of the box and not so much duplicate the sound that's around them, just to just get experimental, have fun with your music, you know what I mean? Get into all different kinds of genres and listen. If you're up from the north in Canada, listen to the music down south. Listen to what they're the kind of music, the kind of drums and the stuff that they're doing there, and incorporate a little bit of that into your music if it's something that you like. So I think now it's not as regional as it used to be, but yeah, I don't know. I still rep Guelph a lot in my music, so I think I have like a little Guelph sound to me at some point, you know what I mean? I'm definitely proud that I'm from that area, so we put that out there.
Very cool. One of my favorite places in Guelph is right downtown. They have this bookshelf restaurant. It's
Yes.
got books. It's got a restaurant. It's got a movie theater.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can buy your books, have your lunch, and then go watch a movie.
Yeah, it's very nice, very nice. And then right above it is the E-Bar, which is a great spot they have spoken word poetry slams there and all sorts of different performances and stuff. It's good. It's a nice
Now,
spot.
what is the relationship from hip hop to spoken word and poetry slams? Is there a lot of crossover there?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I was actually just out at a spoken word event last month. Just figured I'd come and check it out. I usually pop in every now and then, but hip hop and spoken word are really hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like there's a beat, there's a rhythm to it, and it's all about messages. It's all about speaking. There's a point. There's something that you want to portray, something that you want to give to the crowd, and spoken word and hip hop, it's the same thing. So it's it's the same with any kind of performance art. Like I always kind of say, even rock and metal music can cross over into hip-hop. Reggae can cross over into hip-hop. There's a lot of songs even on my new album Ripple Effect that just released today that shameless self-promotion there. I'll just toss that out there.
I happen to have the CD in front of me. There you right are on the cover, making a ripple in the water.
Ripple Effect, that's what it is. But yeah, so there's a lot of different genres that I think that all incorporate and can cross over with hip-hop, but definitely the spoken word and the hip-hop community go hand in hand for sure.
And when you're going down the street, do some people think you're a crazy person talking to yourself and you're just composing?
Maybe not so much. I don't know. When I rhyme, usually it's just in a cipher or stuff. I don't usually rhyme when I'm just walking down the street. But you know, if I get inspired, or even sometimes if I'm in a club and they're playing some sort of beat that's going on, and I'm not really feeling the beat or the lyrics, I'll just come up with my own lyrics. I'll just be dancing. I'll just start spitting some lyrics. They might think I'm a little bit crazy, but hey, that's how I make my music. And all the times, if you're an artist, I think every single day inspiration hits you in different ways, and there's always going to be lyrics floating through your head. So whether you're mouthing the words to it or you've just got them flying around in your head, you're always, you know, got something musically going on. And people might think you're a little bit crazy, but hey, that's we're musicians. We're all a little crazy.
It's all good. Now, do you keep a recording device beside your bed in case you wake up with some idea?
I have a pen and paper. That's usually the best thing for me, you know. And anytime I'm walking around and stuff like that, I always have a pen and paper. If I get some bars that just come through my head, I can always put it down. A lot of artists now, we've got our phones, so we can just tap them into our phone. I'm not really too much on that. I like actually having a pen and paper in my hand to write with, but yeah,
Old school.
Yeah, I'm a little old school, you know. I like the vinyl, the DJ scratching.
How about venues? Do you perform live?
Yes,
in Guelph,
all the
places?
time. I just finished a cross Canada tour with Joel Ortiz of Slaughterhouse, who's signed to Eminem's label, Shady Records. So it was really cool to go on tour with someone of his caliber, and we got all over the place. So we're a bunch of cities here in Ontario, and then all the way out to Vancouver on the West Coast. But yeah, like just last night we did the Pete Rock and CL Smooth show in Toronto at the Phoenix, and it was incredible. It was awesome.
Well, let's talk about venues. What places would you perform at in Guelph, and let's move out from there.
In Guelph, I've performed at most of the places that there is hip hop. There's the Vinyl, there's the Red Chevron, Knights of Columbus. Biggie's is where we hold most of our hip-hop jams, and just recently I did the Swollen Members show there in April, which we did it at the biggest concert theater in Guelph, the Guelph Concert Theater, and that was big for me because as a kid growing up in that city, that's like the holy grail of hip hop venues.
That's
in
your
the
Carnegie
city.
Hall.
Yeah, and I'm just like looking at it, like for a New York person, that's like the Massey Hall, right? Or sorry, that's like playing at the Staples Center. You know what I mean? So it was a big deal for me, and that was pretty exciting. And then out from there, here in London, played at a few different places. The Blackshire, a little small spot, and then also the Sound Bar here, which used to be called Up on Carling, and so some good spots here in London.
Now, Sound Bar has a lot of space.
Yes.
And a lot of sound.
Yes, it's big sound, big sound. We got a big show coming up there, actually, December 28th next month. So come out and check it out. We're doing the Ripple Effect release party there at the Sound Bar lower level. So Yeah.
Okay, so for people my age, they'll remember it as Old Chicago's, and then as you mentioned, it morphed, and now it's the Sound Bar.
That's usually what happens, with these clubs. They like kind of reinventing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want people to think they're getting old and stagnant. They want to be fresh, new, and funky with the new hip crowd, right? And it's funny because it seems like they do it almost every 4 years. And when you think about the university crowd, usually in for about 4 years, right?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. Maybe
never
there's
thought
some
of
sort
it that way,
There's
but
some
that's
sort of
true.
connection to that.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. And any places in Toronto?
Yeah, definitely. The Opera House was one of the best venues that I performed at down there. We were at the Phoenix last night, which is a great venue. The Government, yeah. And like there's so many venues in Toronto. So many venues in Toronto. So if you're into hip hop, you know where to go and check them out.
Now, a lot of people in hip hop have partners and posses on stage with them. How many is too many people?
That's funny that you mentioned that, because I don't roll with a posse. It's not really my thing. I move around a lot and enough myself. I really dislike when I watch a performance and there's a bunch of guys behind them, and not all of them are into the music as much as the main performer. A couple of them are talking. Maybe one of them's pulling out their cell phone, another one's looking at their watch, and it's just like, it's not a good look for the performer. It takes people's eyes and focus off the actual performer. So in my opinion, I feel like 2 people is too much. You know what I mean? But other people, they like that little cosign of having other people around them. It makes them feel more comfortable when they're on stage and stuff like that. I understand why people do it. You know what I mean? It's just not something that's really for me. I feel like people are going to respect you a little bit more when they see you just out there all alone. Nobody's backing you up. You just putting your heart on the line. That's what I try and do.
Now, for a lot of artists too, it's not just the sound; it's their look. And a lot of people have their own merch that they sell, their own ball caps, their own shirts, everything. I'm wondering if what you're wearing today signifies anything, or it's just what you like. All right.
It's got the Robbie G on it.
All right, so this is a Robbie G hat right here. And tell us about this.
That's the
logo.
Red Dragon logo. They're a clothing company here in Canada, and they support a lot of the hip hop artists, so I support them. But yeah, definitely merch is a big thing nowadays in the hip hop industry and in music in general. The actual physical music itself doesn't sell. A lot of times it's hard for people to go out and hit the stores and actually buy people's CDs or go on iTunes and support it, but they wear clothes, they wear hats, they'll support it with the merch. So that's a big way that artists have found a way to make some income for themselves. So always on tour, you know what I mean? You always got to have T-shirts, have some hats. Kush Clothing is a company that sponsors me. They give me lots of clothes and stuff like that to sell. And it's just, staying busy with that will keep your pockets full in this industry, because it's hard. It's a tough industry. You got to go out there, you got to tour, you got to be relentless with it, and the music's not really selling like it used to back in the day. So
the merchandise is even more important then.
Oh yeah.
And what's on your wrist?
This is a USB wristband, actually. So there's just pops off like that. It's got my logo on it, Revolution Media, Robbie G on it, and on here has 4 CDs with my bio and everything, all the artwork and all that stuff. So you just plug it into the computer, download it all, and then I can pop my wristband back on.
So you're wearing your music on your wrist?
Yes.
That's amazing. That's really cool. All right. So the times, they are changing.
Yeah. Got to be innovative. Got to be innovative in this industry, definitely. And artists like even Dr. Dre, prime example. He just made like almost $1 billion off those Dre Beats headphones. Crazy amount of money, and nobody was really seeing that market. It's because he recognized people aren't buying music, but they're still listening to music. People are always listening. How are they listening to music? Wearing headphones.
His headphones.
Very,
very cool. So there's a lot to look at in the industry. what's going to be next? I mean, do you have your own line of underwear?
Hey, that's a good idea. I got some fans, I know. Yeah, especially the girl ones. We could get a little some booty shorts, some Robbie G booty shorts going or something like that. You never know.
with the implanted music. There you go.
Oh, all right. You're going right futuristic. Here. Okay. Right. Have you seen those T-shirts that they light up with the beat?
Yes.
It's like boom, boom, and they'll like flash and stuff like that. That would be pretty interesting. I'd like to talk to the company that makes those and make some Robbie G light up T-shirts.
There's so much potential for that.
That make music too somehow. It has a little speaker built into it, and you could just be walking down the street, and your shirt would just be playing my music. I think that's cool. Yeah, you just give me some ideas here, Bill. All right.
There you go. Well, as long as you don't have to adjust the volume with the nipples, you're okay. Tell us on life on the road, what have been some of your more unusual or funny experiences?
Life on the road. I don't like traveling in the winter in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Worst experience ever. So any performers out there, try and plan your tours in the summer or spring or fall. Do not go in the wintertime, because we've definitely had incidences before where we've got stopped in complete snow, roads icy as heck. You can't go any further, and you got to just stay up at like this tiny town of population 500 in this little motel, so it's not a good situation, but you know what I mean? That's tour life. There's always going to be bumps in the road, but yeah, I would definitely suggest that people don't tour in the wintertime. Try and tour
I can
when it's nice.
Just see the headline of the next album, Trapped in Shedden, or some other small town.
Where were we? There's a town where Winnie Pooh is from, the story of Winnie Pooh.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, it's near Winnipeg. I forget what it's called.
Okay.
I don't know.
Churchill?
Really small town.
Okay.
But yeah, we got stuck near Marathon.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least you were stuck in a famous place, home of Winnie the Pooh.
Home of Winnie the Pooh.
And speaking of that, when people are doing their music, sometimes they'll pull in other references to TV shows, movies, actors, that sort of thing. And have you made use of that? Do you throw pop culture into what you're doing?
I find it kind of cliche, to be honest. Like, a lot of people are doing that. And myself, my music wants to stay away from that stuff a little bit, because I feel like pop culture is the death of, like, the world. Well, a lot of the mainstream stuff, the Miley Cyrus twerking videos and all that kind of thing, like, it's just really degrading the music and degrading our youth out there, and just putting some really bad messages into their brains, I feel like. And so I'm trying to not talk about Kim Kardashian's butt on my music. You know what I mean? I'm not going there. I'm trying to.
Here are a list of things I'm not touching.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I might touch it, but I'm just not going to touch it in my music. No,
right.
I'm joking.
But
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really watch too much TV myself, to be honest. I try and stay away from it, stay away from video games and stuff like that. So nothing against it. If you watched it, that's cool. That's totally your thing. But I feel like a lot of it in the whole advertisement world and everything, it's just it got a little bit too much for my brain. I was just like, this is not good. This is not good for me.
So besides music, do you have any other interests?
Yeah, definitely sports. I'm a big sports fan. I like playing sports. Big, basketball, hockey, soccer, baseball, badminton, volleyball, anything, whatever, anything with a ball, anything I can get out there and just run around.
Now, does the fact that you're involved in hip hop music inform your exercise? Do you hear a beat when you're out on the ball field or something like that?
Definitely, for sure. And I think being fit and staying healthy is another message in my music that I like to stress to people, and like stay away from fast foods. Try and the world's it's a scary place for when it comes to like genetically modified foods and all sorts of stuff like that. So I feel like trying to stay fit and stay healthy is really important. So that's a big message in my music.
So how political are you, and does that bleed into your music?
Not too political. I'm not too political. There's guys like Immortal Technique, and I let them deal with the politics. Dead presidents, you can cover that topic. Myself, I'm not really into it that much. I think that the whole world of politics confuses me a little bit too much. I try and pay attention here and there to a few things that are going on, but a lot of the times I feel like it never directly affects me, and it's sad in a sense that that the people don't have a connection to their politicians anymore. There's like some sort of like void. It's empty. Like there's no trust. For one, you can't trust what they say, because every single time they tell you something and then they turn around and they do the complete opposite, you have no faith in that person anymore. It's just like a relationship that you have with a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Why would you trust her after she's lied to you multiple times? So it comes to the point where you're just like, I'm sick of it. And I don't know if you've seen the YouTube clips of the actor comedian Russell Brand, where he's talking about the whole political system, and he's just like, I don't want to vote anymore. He's just like, I'm sick of it. He's like, what is the point? It's not changing anything. I could yell and scream all I want, but nothing actually changes. So until everybody actually stands up and says, screw the government, you know what I mean? We're not participating in this anymore. We need a new system. We definitely, because the one that's operating right now isn't working. It's very clear that the whole idea of democracy and capitalism and trying to, make a lot of money off of the very unfortunate people in this world, you know what I mean? It's not working, and it's creating a really bad scenario for the world, and we're going to reach a tipping point where the people are going to start revolting like they already have been in the Middle East, in Libya and Egypt and stuff like that, where they can't take these dictators any longer, and they start standing up for the greater good of the people. And that's what I think we're going to get to. I think we're going to eventually get to the point where people are just we're fed up, we're sick of it, and we're done. So I don't. Now I sound like I'm like politically fired up. Now I'm all just like, you can see this in my music, but not so much. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that I think this system right now is corrupt, and we need to make a change very soon. So that's my stand.
Yeah, some famous guy said that democracy is the worst system on the planet. Capitalism is the worst system on the planet, except for every other system on the planet. So,
what's the alternative?
Yeah,
that's the position that we get stuck in when we get to this topic. Is where do we go to find help? Where is the trusted leader that we can put our faith in? Because it's never the leader that's actually controlling things. I think we all know that there's special interest groups behind them, the ones with all the money, the 1% that are actually dictating the rules in this world. And until we actually realize that and get a grips on it and find a way to filter the money down to everybody else, it's never going to change.
All right. I can see you're not political at all.
I know. You got me on the topic, man. You get me fired up now.
There you go. And you certainly were involved in health, and I would think that would lead directly to the environment.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So you probably feel strongly about that too.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're definitely ruining our planet. I try and pick up trash when I can, and I try and make sure I recycle, put the paper where it needs to go. But yeah, the whole world is a very scary place right now, and if we don't make some changes instantly right now, we're gonna have a problem. It's so simple too, like small things. Turn off the lights when you're not in your house. You know what I mean? Don't leave running water on. Don't have a half an hour long shower. Take a quick one. There's simple things that you can do to just cut back, reduce, reuse, recycle, whatever motto you want to live by. But there's small things that we can do to help out the planet.
And you know what happens when we do those things? We create
a
ripple effect.
Exactly. And
bringing us back to the CD that's just come out.
That's what I'm doing.
So tell us what's on the CD and where we can get it.
You can get it right now on my Bandcamp, robbieg.bandcamp.com. I've got it set up right now as a pay what you can. So a lot of music out there, a lot of artists, even big major record label artists are out there, and they're not even charging for their music anymore because a lot of people just go out and download it. So it's offered as a pay what you can, robbieg.bandcamp.com. And you can get it for $0. You can pay me $10, $20, whatever you feel is fair for the music. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get it out there in the world. I'll also have it up there on all the YouTube links and stuff like that. It'll be on my Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Robbie G Music, so find it there. But yeah, it's the music, it speaks for itself. Take it in. That's all I can say, people. There's a lot of everything on there, and it's my heart and my soul.
And if we want to see you live, where we can do that?
Come check out the show here in London on December 28th. I'm going to be at the Soundbar on the lower level, so check that, and see my tour dates. I'm always posting new dates around the area, so if you're listening from a different part of the world, you're not in London right now, check out the dates. Find me on RobbieGHipHop.com and get all the information.
And we've got 1 minute left in the show. What's important for everybody to know?
That radio shows like this are essential to myself and the growth of any musician or anybody out there just doing their thing. So I want to thank you for taking the time here. I'll take this last minute to just show you some praise. And 37 years in the industry, that's big. So congratulations for keeping on doing what you're doing and creating good content for people to listen to.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for being with us here today. My guest today has been Robbie G, hip-hop artist and promoter, and you can find him on the internet, robbieg.bandcamp.com, and pay what you can. Support of local artists and
yes.
Support international artists as well. I'm Bill Paul. Support radio. Listen to Straight Talk each and every week right here on 106.9 The XFM at Fanshawe College. And my producer, Jax, will be happy that you did. Thanks.